Hi guys, DevilDoll here. I'm answering a question from DimensionX. So, the ever-impending zombie apocalypse finally occurs, and he wants to know what my plan is, where I'll go, who I'll stick with, how I'll survive, and if I manage to survive the initial plague, what do I intend to do on a permanent scale? I'm gonna have a problem making this video less than 10 minutes long. Just gotta say, I've been planning my zombie strategy for like 5 years, and he did this on purpose. But, before I actually answer the question, I wanted to point out that in honor of the question, I actually wore my Zombie at Tiffany's shirt, which I am actually quite proud of. Anyway, I think the first thing I would do after the outbreak had been announced would be to gather as many supplies as I possibly can. Seeing as I have no intention of actually staying put, I could pack light, bottled water, non-perishable food items, power bars, canned goods, things like that, first aid kit, and other odds and ends, batteries, duct tape, radio, multi-tools, alcohol, yes, the drinking kind. If I had enough time to plan ahead, I'd have things like micro water purifiers and camelbacks. They're perfect for these kind of survival situations. However, I'm assuming that I can only pack what I currently have, so that puts me at a slight disadvantage. Suppose I should start getting a little bit more prepared. Anyway, once I've packed my bug-out bag, I'd start packing my weapons. If I was traveling on foot, I'd pack light, but I'm not, so the SKS, the 20-gauge shotgun, and the 9mm all go with me. I also have sufficient amounts of ammo for all of these weapons. It's a good start for firepower, but honestly, it's not going to be enough. So I'll have to take the axe and the baseball bat that we keep in the pantry. Now that I've packed everything, I could toss it all in the Toyota truck and head to the docks on the Mississippi River. Of course, I would keep my eyes peeled, and the 9mm would be in my lap. I would get there as quickly as possible and hopefully not come across a whole mass of zombies. But you never know. I would really, really hope that my survival party made it to the rendezvous point. All of them. Because they all have their own necessary parts in my plan. The team consists of 5 people, including me. All are trained marksmen. One's a mechanic. Great for hot wiring and working on cars when we need to. We'll call him K. Another is a chemist, an expert in military explosives. Not really handy if you don't have the supplies, but he's a kick-ass shot. He also has access to a fleet of towboats on the Mississippi River, so that's how we'll be making our exit. We'll call him D. The other 2 members were chosen because of the firepower that they bring and their sense of logic, I suppose. We'll call them I and R. Assuming that they all make it, the supplies that I would have access to would be far greater at this point. The firepower would be fricking insane. You would also have several machetes and katanas thrown into the mix, as well as body armor. Once we all meet at the docks, loading everything onto the boat, that might be a little tricky, seeing as the docks are downtown, and downtown Memphis is densely populated. Depending on how fast the virus spreads, and how many survivors are trying to get out via the river, there might be some gunfire, but nothing 5 people can't handle. Load it up, ditch the cars. Ooh, keep the keys, though. If we end up back in Memphis, they will be very, very handy. So, load it up, ditch the car, and head down the Mississippi River towards the Gulf of Mexico, making stops in port towns for supplies, Greenville, Vicksburg, Baton Rouge, and New Orleans, until we've reached the Gulf. I figure most of the time we could spend on the water, coming into New Orleans, Mobile, and Pensacola when supplies are needed. These stops for supplies would be a little bit tricky, especially in the bigger cities like New Orleans, but good thing I have 2 people in my party, D and R, who have lived in the area and know their way around. So it would be in and out as quick as possible. If there are cars backed up on the roadways, we can always go on foot, but the preferred method of travel would be to have Kay hotwire one of the cars closest to the dock. It might even have keys in it. You never know. From there, we'd make our stops, picking up what we need and killing what we don't, and then back to the boat and on our way. The intention would be stay out of harm's way until the virus has subsided and died off, or we located a survival settlement. If neither of these things could be done, I'm sure there's a nice island off the coast of Florida that we could use to clear the zombies off of and make some kind of settlement. Though that really would be a last resort. I don't really care for Florida. Maybe D could work on some kind of cure for the virus. I mean, he is a med student. Options, options, options. The only real goal is survival. I could honestly be far more detailed in this description, but I really, really, really don't want to have to make 3 or 4 videos about this question. So, it's kind of vague, but that's my plan. If you see flaws, please feel free to point them out. I'm always revising. Thanks for asking, Lee. It really made me think. So now I'm going to go tackle your vampire question, which might take even longer. Bye.